everyone, Gary Wiryawan, and right now I'm in Mulia Villa and Resort in Bali, Indonesia with my wife and my family, and we're having a little bit of vacation time, relaxation time, and time together with family. This is not a photography trip, this is just a family time kind of trip, and photography is not the main focus of this trip. However, I still bring my camera gear with me to document my trip, as well as just to have a little bit of photography time, as well as making this vlog video, and I've been enjoying it so far. And I don't bring a lot of gear this time, and also a few weeks ago I made a video about planning of the actual camera gear that I want to bring on this trip. However, in reality, the actual gear that I bring is a little bit different from that video, and I want to explain that to you right now quickly. So let's start with the camera bag. I bring the Ona Bowery messenger bag to carry my camera, lenses, and some other stuffs like my power bank and things like that. And for my main camera, I bring the Panasonic G85 for both photography and video. It's been working really well. It's my main YouTube camera and also my main photography camera right now. And I have currently the Panasonic Leica 15mm f1.7 as my main lens on this camera right now. It's been performing really well. It's not too tight, it's not too wide. The large aperture of f1.7 really helps me when it comes to low light and get a little bit of shallower depth of field. And my other lenses, let's check it out. I bring also the Laowa 7.5mm f2. As in the video that I previously mentioned, this is my favorite ultra wide angle lens for micro four thirds, and I've been using this a couple of times already today. So yeah, that's really great. I can take really wide sceneries, I can take landscape photography with this, and it's been performing really well. My other lens is this Panasonic Lumix 20mm f1.7. So in the other video, I kind of debated a little bit about which one to bring, the 15mm or the 20mm. Some of you already made some suggestion to bring the 15, to bring the 20, and I ended up bringing both because I'm confused and I don't know yet whether I'm gonna use the 20 or not. But right now I think I will try to use the 15 first, and tomorrow I will switch to 20. And my other lens is the Olympus 45mm f1.8. So I've used this already today a couple of times to take a little bit of portraits, as well as for distant landscape photography, tighter crop, and that kind of stuff. And this has been really wonderful because it has large aperture of f1.8, and the focal length is still a little bit forgiving for a telephoto lens. And other camera, I bring this guy, the Insta360 Go 2. This is always inside my pocket, and this is really great for taking video as well as for underwater footage. And yeah, it's been really a fun small little camera that doesn't really get in the way when it comes to taking video. And my other camera is the one that's recording this video right now, the DJI Pocket 2. This is my main vlogging camera for talking head like this one, and I'm planning to use this camera for a little bit of b-roll as well. However, when it comes to b-roll, the G85 and the Insta360 Go 2 really did well in that regard. So maybe this is just specifically for talking heads. And yeah, I think that is all for the camera gear. So let's continue with today. So basically this is our third day. It's already 10 p.m. right now, and basically in the morning what I did is we went to the beach, and then I tried to photograph the rolling waves again with long exposure and the filter as well as polarizer from the KNF concept. a little similar composition like yesterday's composition, but I try to make it a little bit more interesting. But I don't know, I think I still prefer the picture from yesterday. Anyway, after that we didn't really do anything much. We just eat lunch, nasi campur Bali, and then we also went for dinner at a Japanese restaurant, and that's basically it. We don't really do a lot of photography activity, but I do manage to record a little bit of B-roll clips along the way, as well as a little bit of street photography when we visit Tanah Lot earlier today. So tomorrow it will be another relaxing day, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog so far. And in terms of gear, the lens that I use the most today is this guy right here, the Panasonic Leica 15mm f1.7, as well as a little bit of the Laowa 7.5mm f2. I don't really know about tomorrow. My plan is to go to the beach again and try the composition again for long exposure, but we'll see about that tomorrow. Hopefully it's not gonna rain and we're gonna have a relaxing time together. Good morning. So I'm going to the beach right now and try to photograph again the composition from yesterday, and hopefully we get something interesting today. So the whole resort and villa area is very beautiful, lots of greeneries, very peaceful, very quiet. I've been really enjoying it here. I've been able to relax and have a really nice time together with my family, and every morning I'd like to walk to the beach to relax, to enjoy the scenery, and to practice a little bit of long exposure photographs. So I'm bringing my camera right now, the G85 as well as the Laowa 7.5mm f2 as my practice lens, and you know, I'll try to get a nice long exposure photograph with slightly different composition from yesterday. We'll see. So yeah, we just finished shooting at the beach, and I learned some lessons from today's photo shoot session, and that is when I'm using an ultra wide angle like this, I prefer not to use a polarizer, because the effects of the polarizer are really uneven when I use a wide angle lens. And yeah, I also learned some new tricks on how to time my shot before the waves crashing on my foreground. And I also learned that if I'm using an ultra wide angle lens like the Laowa 7.5mm, it's better for me to have a foreground of interest to make the whole scene more interesting. So yeah, now I'm heading back to my villa to rest, take shower, have breakfast, and today we're just going to relax around. We're planning to go to the spa, and then after that we can have a dinner at the hotel. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this trip so far. It's been very relaxing, it's been very, you know, enjoyable, and it's a little bit different from my experience when I have that staycation in Pelataran, Magelang, but this is also very enjoyable. So it's currently 5:30 p.m. and I've been enjoying the day so far. We ate nasi campur again earlier today for lunch, and also we went to the spa, and I really enjoyed the spa. It was really good. It is, I think, better than the last spa that we had in Pelataran, Magelang. And after this we're gonna have dinner, and that's about it for today. No real photography stuff today, just relaxing at the hotel, at the resort, and just having a good time together with my family, with my wife, and just enjoying our time together. Relaxation, that kind of stuff. Alright, tomorrow it's gonna be a little bit of an adventurous day. We're gonna go try some new food, and we're also gonna do another round of spa, and then in the evening we're gonna go eat dinner at some place nearby, and that's about it. And then the day after we're gonna go back to Yogyakarta, and this has been really a wonderful, relaxing vacation time with my family, and I've been enjoying it so far. Now before I go to dinner, I just want to quickly talk about camera gear that I brought during this trip, and I made a little observation about which gear that I use more and which gear that I don't use as much. And let's start with the most used lens, the Panasonic Leica 15mm f1.7. This is the most used lens. I use it for all sorts of things, for food photography, for portrait, for sceneries, for recording B-rolls of video, and it's been really wonderful. The focal length is not too tight, it's not too wide, it's just perfect. It's very flexible. The large aperture of f1.7 really helps a lot when it comes to low light. On my previous trip to Pelataran Magelang, I didn't use this guy at all. This is the Olympus 45mm f1.8. However, on this trip, I managed to use it a few times for tighter landscape composition. And I don't use it a lot, but tomorrow I plan to try to make a new composition using this lens. And the 20mm f1.7. On my previous trip to Pelataran, I use it almost all the time. It's been so flexible for me. But on this trip, because I have the 15mm f1.7, this guy didn't get used at all yet. Tomorrow I will force myself to just use this lens for my trip, and this is useful because it can isolate the subject more, it can make the subject stand out, it can produce a little bit more background blur compared to the 15mm, and I will experiment with that tomorrow. Also, the Laowa 7.5mm f2. I've been using it a lot for landscape shots at the beach. I'm trying new compositions every day, trying to find a foreground of interest with the background of a temple on the beach, waiting for the wave to crash by and to make an interesting photography. And with the Laowa 7.5mm f2, I've been using this guy right here. This is the KNF Concept filter, magnetic filter. I made a review about this filter about a few weeks ago, so you can check the video up here. But basically, this is circular polarizer together with ND1000. So this is a 10-stop ND, and I've been using it to create a long exposure photography. And what I found is that the ND1000 is extremely useful for that. However, the polarizer, if I use it with my Laowa 7.5mm, because it's such a wide lens, it can create uneven polarizing effect, especially on the sky. So for tomorrow, I will not use the polarizer as much and just rely on the ND1000. And speaking of video camera, the DJI Pocket 2 is not being used as much as my previous trip to Pelataran. So I managed to use the G85 instead, the camera that's recording this video, with the Laowa lens to record talking headshots, vlogging, A-roll kind of stuff. And I tried to experiment it today, but we'll see. If the result is better using the G85, then I might just as well ditch this camera and just use the G85 for my next trips. And as with my previous trip, the Insta360 Go 2 is being used a lot. It's such a useful little video camera that records a wide angle footage, and it's been useful for me because it is very small, the footage is very stable, it's very easy to use, and you know, it's very user friendly. I can just put it inside my pocket, and also it is submersible, so it's been very useful for me to record things like when I'm swimming or at the beach. And that's about it for camera gear right now. So now let's continue with the vlog. Good morning. So my wife and I, we are going to the beach again this morning just for a little stroll. I'm actually a little bit too lazy to do another session of long exposure photography, so we're just gonna be relaxed and just kind of take pictures, but nothing too serious. So I've arrived at the beach. As you can see behind me, that's the beach right there. And yeah, seems like there's no one around, and I was just gonna try to take some quick photographs and just experiment with some composition. So as you can see right over there, there were some small ships, and I wanna try to take a photograph of it using the Olympus 45mm, sort of like a tight landscape. Let's see how it turns out.
Why you keeping me waiting?
Good morning. Yesterday we just ate lunch and then we go to the spa again and then we went for dinner. And today is our last day. We will be flying back to Yogyakarta. And yeah, I don't bring my camera today to the beach or anything like that. We're just packing and making sure we don't leave things behind. And that's basically it. So yeah, I hope that you've been enjoying this vlog so far. I hope that you find it useful. Please comment down below if you have any questions. Also, don't forget to support my small channel by liking this video, sharing this video and subscribing to my channel down below. Thank you and goodbye.